So the purpose tonight is really just to show you one of the strategies on making money investing in real estate. I think we're in a day and age now where having multiple streams of income is important. And I want you guys to know that as a real estate investor, you're generating another stream of income, whether it's the buy and hold strategy, which ultimately all of us need to focus on. Ultimately, that's your passive income strategy. That's your cash flow, equity, and appreciation strategy. And so ultimately, that's what we need to do to build wealth, to retire financially free, to have another income in our retirement. We want to buy and hold. The other strategy as a real estate investor is your buy for cash strategy, investing for cash. Generally, what falls under investing for cash is wholesaling and fixing and flipping. The good thing about investing for cash or buy for cash is you're investing for quick paydays. So generally speaking, when we're wholesaling a property, wholesale deal is done within, I'll just say within 30 days. But like I just went under contract on a property today and I'm expecting to close in 2 weeks. So it could be as short as 2 weeks on a wholesale deal. On a fix and flip, it could be 6 months, it could be 9 months. The payoff on a fix and flip is a lot higher than wholesaling, but it comes with a lot more risk. And so it's very risky. But the payoff is high. Another downside about buying for cash is it's just one payday. It's active income. It's not passive income. It's active income. You wholesale a deal or you flip a deal, and there's nothing wrong with this, and you get paid that one time. Now you've got to go off and find you another property. And you can do that with the right systems, with the right strategies. You could do that. So you can make a lot of money. Part of the key also, and I'll probably say this a couple times, is two main areas, in my opinion, for wholesaling real estate. And those two are, number one, finding the deals, and then putting them under contract. And so we've got to write a lot of contracts, knowing that most of the contracts that we write are not going to get accepted, but we've got to write nonetheless. And we've got to do some marketing strategies, and I'll talk about some marketing strategies. Again, I've got some of my my platinum coaching students on here. I'll let them talk about some of their marketing strategies. But we've got to put ourselves in positions where we're making offers. I looked at a property today. I looked at a number of different properties today, but I looked at one property today in Baltimore, where it's in an area that houses are selling for, let's say, $300,000. Doug, it's in the area by Charles Village. Zip code is 21218. So Charles Village. I looked at this property, and I was interested in the property because it was on the market for 125. And I said, wow, I could pick this up for 125. I could either wholesale this property or fix and flip the property. And there's easy comps at around 320. And so the first thing I did when I came back was I made an offer. I haven't heard back from the agent, but I made an offer. I wrote a contract. And that's what we've got to do. Now, it's kind of risky. It's on a street where there's probably about 5 or 6 board ups on the street. Now, when I said board ups on the street, I noticed that Alex started scratching his ear. But it gets better, Alex. There's a because we don't like board ups. And so whenever I mention the word board up, Alex tends to kind of just go to his ear and just start scratching. But Alex, you knew you were going to get it
I'm
tonight.
gonna let you have your way tonight, Mr. Bennett. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing tonight. I'm gonna hold it till Saturday.
Okay. Anyway, and so part of the reason I looked at the property is because I'm showing the property to my coaching students on Saturday. Now, here's the thing about this property, you guys. Of the 6 board ups on the street, 5 of them are being rehabbed by a developer. 5 of them are being rehabbed by a developer. And I think it's a great deal. And we'll see Saturday. I think it's a great deal. Hopefully I'll be able to put it under contract. I'll either maybe wholesale it to one of our coaching students, or I'll just renovate the property. But nonetheless, we've got to make offers on properties. If we see something, we cannot be afraid to make an offer. And so we got to make offers. And so just kind of stepping back a second, wholesaling is really the act of finding a property under market, like this property I just found. Now it's on the market for 125. The comps say renovated, I can sell it for 320, but I made an offer at 90,000. So I wrote an offer today at 90,000. And so they've got 3 options. They can either accept it, reject it, or counter my offer. I'm nervous about, I'm not necessarily nervous about the board ups, but I'm nervous about when those board ups are going to be completed. I've had situations where I have bought properties, I held them because they were doing some renovations on the street or in the back of the house, and the renovations never happened. But I have seen some situations where they were going to do the renovations, like this Upton project, and they did follow through and do the renovations. And so it's just a little risky. But nonetheless, we've got to make offers. So we find a property that we can make an offer on and put it under contract, and then we assign that contract to a cash buyer, someone who's going to fix and flip that property or buy and hold that property. That's what wholesaling is. That's what wholesaling is. Now, in wholesaling, you guys, we use 2 contracts. We use what I call the A to B contract. That's the purchase and sales agreement. The A is the motivated seller. The B is you, the buyer / wholesaler. Then once we get that contract signed, I got that contract signed today. Now we have the assignment agreement, which is what I call the B to C contract. That's between you, the buyer / wholesaler, and the cash buyer. That's the assignment agreement. And the assignment agreement simply states that they're going to take over all the rights and responsibilities of the purchase and sales agreement, the A to B contract. And then it also states your assignment fee or your wholesale fee. It states that on there. And there's also a penalty on there if they don't follow through. You're going to have them put down a deposit on your wholesale fee on the B to C contract, but the cash buyer also puts down a deposit on the A to B contract. And then on paper, they get all that money back at settlement once everything goes through. And so wholesaling the correct way is wholesale is not putting up any money in the deal. Your cash buyer is, but your cash buyer is more than happy to, because they're getting a great deal. So that's wholesale. And again, with the wholesaling, it's really about finding those deals. A successful wholesaler is able to find the deals, so they're doing some type of marketing, and then they're able to put them under contract, and then they've got a cash buyers list to assign those contracts to. Any questions so far, you guys?
So Greg, you said, and hello, good evening. You said in the beginning, A to B, there's money involved, and then B to C, there's money involved.
Yes. And so on the A to B contract, the purchase and sales agreement, I went under contract with a young lady today for 40,000. On that contract, it says there's got to be what's called consideration. And my consideration on that contract, my earnest money deposit, we reference that sometimes as your EMD, is $1,000. It tells the seller that I'm serious about the deal. So that's $1,000. That $1,000 goes to the title company. So then on the B2C contract, which states that the cash buyer is going to take over all the rights and responsibilities of the purchase and sales agreement. And then they're also going to pay an assignment fee. And let's just say the assignment fee is, well, in my case, it's going to be about $40,000. I want them to put a deposit on that $40,000. So I want them to put up at least $5,000 on that assignment agreement. And that $40,000, I mean, that $5,000 deposit also goes to the title company. So there's two deposits.
Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, you guys, so far? I want you guys to get this because wholesaling is something that you guys can start doing tomorrow. You guys can get started. It just takes a certain willingness. You do have to understand the contracts. And we have the contracts. Actually, a couple people mentioned that they have my wholesaling course. Through that course, you can get the contracts. You can get my whole toolkit. And so you've got to be armed with the right tools. So in my toolkit gives you all the right tools. And then it's just about doing the marketing and not being afraid to make offers. Like I came back today and I made an offer. I made an offer on that property. And so the worst thing that can happen is they say no. The best thing is they say yes, or they can counter. And then I got to see if I can live with the counter. All right. So Quentin is saying, what if we don't have the $1,000 earnest money? Can we get that from the cat? So Quentin, that's exactly how it happens. As a wholesaler, you should not be putting up any of your own money. I don't want you putting up any of your own money as a wholesaler. If I'm your cash buyer, I'm going to put up that $1,000. And I'm going to put up maybe $5,000 on the wholesale fee. Now that equals $6,000 that I've got to give to the title company. Now, when I get to settlement as the cash buyer, there's going to be a line item on there showing that I've already given $6,000. So it's not like I'm like wasting money or anything. It goes towards my settlement. 5,000 is already there. So if I'm making a $40,000 wholesale fee, then the title company will just add the 35,000 to the 5,000 and wire me as the wholesaler, wire me my $40,000 wholesale fee. And so that's how it works. So Quentin, you should not be putting up any money as the wholesaler. We're not putting up any money.
Greg, so I got a quick question. This is Corey. So when you put in your your deposit, your EMD amount, do you usually make it like a long period of time, like 7 to 5 days, or how does that work? Because usually, we usually want tight windows.
Yeah, 10 days is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg,
That
I have
way
a
you-
question. The deposit on the assignment fee, is that a new concept? I've never done that before.
Yeah, it's right on the assignment agreement.
You've been doing that the whole time?
It's right on your assignment agreement. And so
Yeah.
so Dana, let me just say this. In theory, that's what we're supposed to do.
Mhm.
On the contract is what we do. Sometimes in practice, the cash buyer, we know each other. Like Dana, you've wholesaled some deals to me.
Uh-huh.
In practice, I might not put up that deposit. And just in practice, you know that you're going to get your wholesale fee at settlement.
Yeah, no, I wasn't referring to doing deals with you, but I'm saying overall, to me, that's a great. I just never thought of that. I didn't know that was allowed, and that's a great concept. I like the fact of that. I like that, but not
Yeah,
with you. But not with
it's
you, Greg.
it's boilerplate on the assignment agreement. So if you looked at the assignment agreement, I forget what paragraph it is, but it's
That.
probably 6 or 7 or 8th paragraph. We want a deposit. We want to, somebody unmute yourself and tell me, why do we want a deposit from the cash buyer? Why is that important? Why is that important to get a
So
deposit?
if they back out, we want to be okay, and
Right.
we want them to take this seriously. We want to take our deal seriously.
Absolutely.
You know, some
Absolutely.
skin in the game.
Skin in the game. Absolutely. Because I've got numerous stories to tell you guys about wholesalers not using the right contracts, not collecting a deposit for their wholesale fee, and they never ever getting paid. They didn't really know the cash buyer. They put an ad out on like Facebook Marketplace, didn't really know them, had the wrong contracts, never collected deposit. Once settlement occurred, they weren't on the settlement statement, of which I'll talk about later. But at settlement, as a wholesaler, you get a copy of the settlement statement, the HUD, the ALTA, whatever you call it, the CD, and you make sure that there's a line item on there, your LLC, like Bennett Team Properties LLC, and $15,000, $20,000. You're on the settlement statement. And if you're not, that settlement doesn't go through. You justify that with the 2 contracts that you sent into the title company, the purchase and sales agreement and the assignment agreement. Now, most wholesalers don't go to settlement, but every now and then I'll see a wholesaler go to settlement. They go to settlement because they want to make sure that they're going to get paid, that they're a line item on the settlement statement, that the title company has their wire instructions, and that they're going to get paid. So you make sure that you can do that, via the telephone. But some wholesalers do go to, I've never gone to settlement, but some do. Any questions? Tammy's got a question. Do we only need one LLC to start wholesaling? Yes, just one LLC. That's all you need. That's all you need. All right, so we're going to talk about negotiating, some advanced strategies, mistakes that I see people making, and scaling to a 6-figure wholesaling business. The problem, why most wholesalers fail. They've got leads that go nowhere. And so the key to your success as a wholesaler, you guys, is leads. Leads, marketing. In any profession, you guys, any profession, I don't care what it is, the professional, in this case, the investor that can generate the most leads is going to make the most money. It's just as simple as that. And we'll go over what you need to do. But you've got to have leads. You can't just say I'm a wholesaler and expect motivated sellers to come to you. And so you've got to have the right leads, low assignment fees. And so write this down if you're taking notes. Your assignment fee, and I'll go over the Mayo formula, but your assignment fee should be 5% of the after repair value. After repair value, or what we call ARV, is what the house is worth once it's completely renovated. So it's completely renovated. You bought it you put it under contract for 200. You assigned it for 220. And if ARV is 400,000, 5% of that is $20,000. That should be your assignment fee. So sometimes the wholesaler allows the cash buyer to out negotiate them. Keep in mind and write this down. When we're wholesaling, there's two negotiations. There's two negotiations. There's a negotiation between you and the motivated seller. Contract, I had to go get a contract signed today. I had to go to a nursing home and get a contract signed today. They wanted $80,000. I offered $40,000 and they took it. That was a negotiation. And so you've got to be able to negotiate. And if not, then the seller, then the cash buyer, who in some cases might be more savvy than you are, maybe more experienced in real estate investing, might talk you down. But you want to make sure you get your assignment fee, which is 5%, and you stay by that 5%. You stick by it. Because let's say I'm trying to talk you down, then you just go to another cash buyer, and you've got a cash buyer's list. Other reasons why wholesalers struggle, sellers backing out. You want to make sure that you've got a seller that's ready, willing, and able, that they're not going to back out. Cash buyers offers is cash buyers offering too late. And sometimes you get you have dates on your contract and with contingencies. And sometimes you get an offer too late, and you want to make sure that you back out of the contract before those contingent periods are over with, so that you don't lose your deposit or lose the deal. And so in our contract, we've got at least two ways to get out the contract, two contingencies. And I think somebody asked me a question about when the deposit is due. We want to put it's really for inspection and approval for the mortgage. We want to put 10 days to 2 weeks on there, primarily because we want to use those two things as time periods for us to find the cash buyers. That's really what they're for us. We want to have time periods for us to find cash buyers. So we have those contingencies in there so that if we don't find a cash buyer within those 10 days, we can use the inspection to get out the contract. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And then not enough deal flow. We need deals. We need to make some offers, and we need deals. You got to have deals. I see a lot of wholesalers and investors backing out because they simply don't have enough deals. The biggest mistake is not doing the math right and putting properties under contract for the wrong price. That's the number one mistake that investors make, wholesalers make. They do the math wrong. Here's the math real quick, you guys. I don't think I have a slide for it this time. But the math is, we call it the Mayo formula. The Mayo, M-A-O. Mayo formula, maximum allowable offer. I didn't put that slide in here in the slide deck. But it's, as a wholesaler, it's 65% of the after repair value minus repair costs. You're putting the property under contract for 65% of the after repair value minus repair costs. So if we were to take, write this down, if we were to take a property that's 300,000, write down 300,000. The after repair value is 300,000. And so let's just say the one I looked at today, ARV 300,000. If I was a wholesaler, I'm gonna take 65% of that, which is 195. And then I'm gonna subtract out the repair costs, which is, let's just write down for the repair costs for this example, $60,000. And so somebody tell me what that comes to.
135.
So that comes to 135. So 135 represents my MAO, my maximum allowable offer. That's the maximum amount in this scenario that I'm allowing myself to offer to the motivated seller. That's my MAO. So we're taking 300,000 times 65% minus repair costs, and that's going to give us our MAO of 135. Now, a cash buyer, I'm also a cash buyer. There's a number of cash buyers on this in this webinar. We buy all day long at 70%. We buy all day long at 70%. We're happy to buy at 70%. So if we take 70% of 300,000, we get 210. 70% of 300,000 is 210 minus the same repair cost of $60,000. Somebody tell me what we get.
150.
So we get 150. I'm buying that property. I'm happy to buy that 150. If you're able to put it under contract for 135, you can assign that contract to me at 150. Now, if you're able to do that, how much money did you just make? Somebody tell me.
15.
You just made $15,000. That's your wholesale fee. That's wholesaling right there. That's wholesaling. But just doing a shortcut, if you just do 5% of the after repair value, which is 5% of 300,000, 15,000 is what you should be making. That's wholesaling right there, you guys. And that's the math that you've got to understand. And so when I look at a property to wholesale, I mean, I'm running those numbers. That's the math. I'm running those numbers. Now you've got to get good at ARV, and there's some ways that we can teach you on how to get a after repair value, whether you're a real estate agent or not, and then repair costs to run the correct numbers. And so what I see the mistake is wholesalers sometimes are so excited and really overzealous to do a deal that they'll do a deal not using those numbers, and they'll pitch it too high. I had a gentleman that sends me deals all the time, sent me a deal 2 days ago. And all I had to do was look at the numbers and tell the numbers weren't right. The numbers weren't right. And so I didn't even bother to text him. But here's another reason why I didn't bother to text him or call him back, because he called me, is because all of his deals are always too high. They're always too high. And so I don't even bother. I see his name. I see he's pitching a deal, and generally he's pitching somebody else's deal. The numbers are always too high, so I don't even waste my time. You've got to do your numbers so that your deals are good. And then you've got to get good at making offers and putting properties under contract. And then the last thing I'll mention is the problem that wholesalers have is not following up. You got to follow up. You got to make an offer. If they say no, if they reject it, then you follow up a couple of days later, a week later. I can't tell you how many deals I've gotten by just following up on deals. So we like to say that the fortune is in the follow-up. Sometimes it takes 5 to 8 follow-ups before you get a deal. Any questions so far? All right, here's where the rubber meets the road, you guys. And here's also why investors fail, wholesalers fail. And when I talk about you've got to do work, this, to me, this is the work. It's finding the deals. We've got to find deals. We got to find deals. In my coaching program, I talk a lot about auction properties. I'm a big believer in auctions, especially here in major cities, Baltimore, DC, Atlanta. There's a ton of different auction sites. And so we look at auctions every day to see what the deals are. Because for me, it's like low-hanging fruit. And then it's just a matter of making offers or bidding. One of our coaching students, he bid on a property about 2 weeks ago, and he won. You're not going to win every time. As a matter of fact, most of the time, you're not going to win. But it's a numbers game. You just keep bidding. And so today I did look at some auction properties. And so auctions are big for us. And there's a number of different sites here in our area.
Hey, Greg,
Go ahead.
are you doing that sight unseen, or with these auctions, or is there some kind of safe time frame you can inspect and that kind of thing?
So it depends on the auction site, but to answer your first question, we never buy sight unseen at an auction. At an auction, we never buy sight unseen. So we go see the property, even if it's just the exterior of the property.
Okay.
But what we try to do is choose the properties that we can actually go inside. And there are some sites that you like, Hubzoo. And so that's a national site, hubzoo.com. Probably 70% of the time you can look at the inside of the property before it goes to auction, auction.com. Here locally in the DMV, Ashland Auctions, there's a pretty high percentage of their auction properties you can see the inside before you bid. Even if it's just, oftentimes they have the auctions in front of the property. So they'll open up the property for like 30 minutes before the auction. But then oftentimes they'll put a lockbox on those properties. And so we like to try to bid on the ones we can see the inside. I bid on a property, another one in Baltimore, Bel Air Edison, my Lake Avenue property. And I was able to see the inside. And it was an online auction. Long story short, it was online. My limit was 40,000. Got to 40, I stopped, and I won the bid. That was, I think, 2018, 2019. And rented that property out. And so we can win. I do know that Dana is on here. Dana's won a property at the auction. Dana, I always ask you this question, but were you in front of the house or was that online?
No, that was online with Ashland Auctions online.
Okay. So we're big on auctions. I'm big on direct mail, postcards. So I'm big on postcards, especially if you can get really good defined lists. I like mailing to absentee owners, out-of-state absentee owners. Pre-foreclosures, you can get a list. There's a number of different list companies that can send you lists for them. I like homeowners who've owned their who have, let's just say, have their mortgages free and clear. So we mail to them. And so you can get lists for all these. We do have a predictive data list also, where using AI tools and machine learning, they can generate a list of people who should be selling their houses within 30, 60, 90 days. And so I do well with that list, especially with direct mail. So there's a number of different lists that we can use. Some people do code violations, tax delinquencies. We do cold calling, so we'll cold call that same list we're doing direct mail. Driving for dollars is also big, looking for houses that look to be vacant and abandoned. And then using tools like, and I know I'm moving kind of fast, but using tools like Deal Machine and other online tools that if you drive by a house, you can get that homeowners, get their address, you can get their name and phone number with a number of different tools that we use. I do use SMS marketing, text message marketing. I mentioned direct mail also. Anything else you guys, some of you guys have been with me for a while that we use that I didn't mention? You guys think of anything? The bottom line is I want you to pick one marketing channel. We call them marketing channels. Choose one marketing channel and be great at it. Market, you keep using, let's say it's direct mail. Keep sending out your direct mail pieces until you get a deal. Or probate. I didn't mention probate. Probate is great too. And probate, there's a lot of juice in probate because most of the houses for probate are owned free and clear. The baby boomers are dying now. They own their properties free and clear. The millennials and the Gen Xers are inheriting the properties and they're selling them off really quickly and for pennies on the dollar. And so we get a lot of great deals and make a lot of money on wholesale deals through marketing probate. You can get probate leads as well. Social media, you got to let everybody know that this is what you do, that you're a real estate investor and that you pay cash for properties and you can settle quickly. Now, you may or may not be able to pay cash, but I can, and other cash buyers can as well. And so that's how you market yourself. And then you just wholesale those deals.
You also mentioned networking as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So networking with other investors, we're networking with attorneys, like probate attorneys. We're networking with your police officers and your postal carriers. They in their travels may see houses that look to be vacant and abandoned. You've got to let everybody know that this is what you guys do. All right. Again, you want to brand yourself, you guys. You want to brand yourself to maximize your assignment fees. You've got to brand yourself and position yourself as a problem solver, not just as an investor. And so what we do as investors is we solve other people's problems. And generally speaking, what their problem is they need to sell their house fast. And so as real estate investors, we solve that problem by giving them solutions to solve the problem, to be able to sell that fast. And they're willing to sell below market. I mean, they're definitely willing to sell below market. And so we've got to be there when they're ready and then make them an offer. And so that's what we got to do. Also, once we get a contract, in order to maximize our assignment fees, and I want you guys to understand this, in order to maximize your assignment fees, sometimes once you put a property under contract, you offer it to a number of different people, sometimes to create a bidding war and to bid the property up. This property that I have, somebody that I went and got a contract on today, somebody offered me, I was just talking sort of just in general. They said, oh, I'll give you 90,000 for it. Now I had every intentions on just, just selling it for 80. But they said, I'll give you 90. So I'm creating a bidding war, and that's what you want to do. And that's what having a great cash buyers list. If you're taking notes, write that down. Cash buyers list. Oftentimes, as a wholesaler, you're only as strong as your cash buyers list. You've got to know who you're going to assign your deals to. And I will tell you that if you find a deal and you don't have a strong cash buyers list, give me a call. I have a strong cash buyers list. Or Dana may have a strong cash buyers list. And then you just wholesale it with Dana. But sometimes Dana will be able to get you more than you were able to get for yourself, and make some money for herself.
So this to me right here is something new that I'm hearing, because initially I'm thinking as a wholesaler, I have one buyer in mind. But what you're saying now is to engage multiple people, possibly in a bidding war, to possibly get more than that quote unquote 5%. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So that's what I want you to do. But just keep
Okay.
in mind also, that the people that you're engaging, you just want to make sure that you can trust them. I'll just say it that way. You just want to make sure that you can trust them, because somebody could offer you a lot more than, let's just say, Dana is willing to, and then not go through with the deal. And so we see that all the time. I personally see that all the time. It's called bait and switch. And so they'll offer you a higher fee, get you under contract, go take a look at the property, and do what I teach you to do, come back and renegotiate. And so you just got to be careful about that. But
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
But in essence, yeah, that's definitely what you want to do. You get a deal, you want to put it out there. I mean, you want to have a loyalty to me, to Dana, to whomever else.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you want to maximize your opportunity. And it's no problem. Dana would understand that. I would understand that. You want to maximize your opportunity, but make sure you don't lose the deal.
So I would basically put this out there even to my close circles, such as you and Dana and Marquise. I'm not necessarily focusing on going outside to people that are just on a list, but I would be doing both in essence, right?
Yes. No problem with that.
Got you.
All right, any questions here, you guys? We want to maximize every opportunity, because here's the bottom line, you guys. Sometimes you don't get a lot of opportunities. And so the opportunities that you do get, let's maximize them. Let's maximize. And then let's just understand that that's what it is. And it's nothing personal to anybody. But if you're wholesaling, you're not doing a lot of deals, let's be smart about it, but let's maximize every single opportunity that comes our way, and be smart about it. You guys with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Here's some more mistakes. Overpaying for properties. We talked about that. Contract errors. I've got a whole video course on contracts and how to write contracts. I've got contracts my attorney has written, and I paid a lot of money for. And so we've got to have the right contracts, not having a strong cash buyers list, not understanding the local market, and poor communication with the sellers and buyers. And so we've got to watch ourselves and make sure we communicate. But I think more importantly, make sure that we understand the process. And so, like I said today, I went and got a contract signed. I actually called a couple cash buyers today, sent the contract to the title company so they could get started. I want to make sure there's no liens or judgments on the property. I will be writing an assignment agreement probably tomorrow once one or two or three or four of the cash buyers get back to me. And so that's the process, and you've got to understand it. And then the numbers that I just talked about, you guys have to trust yourself and trust your numbers. And if you need help with any of that, just communicate with me. I'm happy to make sure that all of your numbers are right as a wholesaler. I'll make sure that all your numbers are right. And something else that I want to mention is, as a strategy, wholesaling is a great strategy. And I kind of said this earlier, but I don't necessarily want you always to be a wholesaler. At some point in your career, I want you to buy and hold. And then maybe as a second option on an opportunity, maybe you wholesale it. Maybe you have an opportunity that you're just not in a financial position to buy and hold. Maybe you just found a property that you're buying and holding, or even flipping. The good thing about investing is there's a couple different exit strategies for every opportunity. So starting off wholesaling is great. You're making money. You're making money as a wholesaler. You're making it quickly as a wholesaler. Nobody's checking your credit as a wholesaler. You need little to no cash as a wholesaler. Fast turnaround. You're learning how to invest. And you're making money. It's a beautiful thing. But at some point in time, all those things I just mentioned, fix your credit. That's how you're going to build wealth. Start buying and holding. Do all of those things. Save your money so that you can buy and hold. That's how you're going to build wealth. This is not what I would want for you to solely do. Now, having said that, there are a number of different companies across the country that they've turned wholesaling into a business where they do 10 to 20 different wholesale deals every single month. So they've turned it into a business. But until you can do that, let's wholesale some deals, get your cash to buy and hold. Valerie mentioned Marquise. So Marquise is one of my real estate agents, but he's also an investor. And what he does is, or at least he used to do, he still does it, is he will sell some real estate, or he will primarily wholesale some real estate, take the wholesale fees, and then go buy and hold property. And it's, for him, it's rinse and repeat. Wholesale 1 or 2 properties, take the cash, and then buy and hold. And he's been doing that for 20 years now. For those of you guys who are coming Saturday, he's coming out Saturday with us. And so using him as an example is what I want you guys to do. Alex put in the chat, put the money in the bank so you can show the lender that you have liquid to close. And so that's one of the things that a lender is going to want to see. They're going to want to verify your funds. So you want to put that in the bank. But then also, and I'm glad he mentioned that, a lender is also going to want to see what's it called? Proof of
Past performance.
A lender is going to want to also see past performance. And you can use your wholesale deals as past performance. So they want to know that you have some experience. And you can show a lender on the settlement sheet that you wholesaled this property as part of this investment deal. Now you're getting lower interest rates, you're getting better terms from a lender because now you have past performance. And then a lot of lenders, when you're going to buy and hold or fix and flip, they won't lend to you because you have no past performance. And so that's another reason why we want to wholesale. We want to save our money. We want to learn investing. We want to learn how to find deals, but then we also want to get past performance. Quentin is asking, should we use a contractor to help us estimating the repair costs? Do we pay them? I never have. I never have paid them. I would say, Quentin, for you, if you got a deal, like tell me about the deal, and I'll give you an idea of what the repair cost should be, or I'll even go with you. I think I've been with you on a deal before. Now, also, you guys, we can guesstimate what the repair cost is. I don't want you guys to get too hung up on the formula. I want you guys to make offers, and I don't want the formula to hold you up. Just guess what it is, because you're going to do a walkthrough. You have contingencies in the contract that if you have to get out the deal, you can get out. But I think more importantly, if you have to renegotiate, you can renegotiate the deal. Once you get under contract, you take your cash buyers by there, you take your coach, your mentor, you take whomever. And if you bought the property wrong, now we go back and renegotiate, or we get out the deal. But don't have analysis paralysis and not make offers. Let's make the offer. Don't say, oh, I can't estimate the repair costs. I'm not going to make the offer. Here's a trick that I use, a secret that I use, that I teach my coaching students. If all else fails, use 20% of the after repair value for your repair costs. 20% of the after repair value for your repair costs. So when I gave you guys that scenario, 300,000 times 65%, I used $60,000 for repair costs when I was doing the Mayo formula that you guys wrote down. The reason I used $60,000 for repair costs is because 20% of 300,000 is $60,000. And in a lot of cases, not all, definitely not all, but in a lot of cases, as an investor, my rehab cost is going to be about 60% of the after repair value. Doesn't always work, but if nobody is around, you've got to make an offer, use 60%. You can always go back and renegotiate. Any questions? All right, let's see here. All right. How to scale to a six-figure wholesaling business. We use systems for lead generation. Write this down if you're taking notes. How am I doing on time? Write this down if you're taking notes. Part of the systems that we use PropStream as a CRM. And so many of my students have PropStream. PropStream honestly gives you everything you need as a real estate investor. Gives you everything you need as a real estate investor. A lot of my students use PropWire, propwire.com. Doesn't give you as much as PropStream. It is not a CRM, but it's very, very powerful, and it's free. And what do you think of PropWire, Alex? Because I know you use it a lot.
I sure do.
What do you think of it?
I love it. I like the fact that I can use it to pull comps the most. I like the fact that for $20 a month, I can get 200 skip traces. I like the fact that, like I said, it's easy to pull comps, and I can also get intel on the owners. Sometimes you got people who think that this is a waste of time, but I don't think it is. sometimes with some of these deals that you're trying to do, especially the types that I'm trying to do, I need intel. I need to know kind of where you are, what you own, what your motivation is, what your challenge is financially, and PropWire will tell me that. I can click on the owner button and it'll tell me what properties you own, your mortgage balances, your equity, and all of that. And all that information, plus the market analysis and such, I can download into a file. And let's say I'm wholesaling, right? I can give that to a cash buyer and say, here's the intel on this property. So I really like Greg said, it may not be as powerful or not be a CRM as PropStream, but I find that for free, PropWire gives me a whole lot of good information.
So everybody should go on to PropWire tonight or tomorrow and create a profile. Karen, are you on here, Karen? I think I saw Karen log in. I don't see her though.
I'm
Karen,
here.
what do you think about PropWire?
So Alex's presentation the other day really was informative. It showed me things that I did not know. So I'm beginning, excuse me, to like PropWire. Great. And then I didn't know that you can skip trace 200 for $20. So that was good information as well. And it's free. So you can't really beat that. So I am beginning to like PropWire a lot better.
What about PropStream? I know you have PropStream. Do you still have PropStream?
I stopped when I started using PropWire. I'll probably start again, I think, but for every new investor, PropStream is good as well. It does give you the owner's information. It gives you the other properties that they own, how much they paid for them, when they did it, tax information. So PropStream is good, and I'll probably start again next month.
And so thank you for that. So we do utilize a lot of technology as real estate investors. A lot of technology. There's a lot of great sites out here that we actually use, CRMs that we use to run our business. And that's how you scale. And this is about scale. This is going from just doing no deals to one deal a month to two. That's how you scale, by utilizing the technology. We've used virtual assistants forever. I can't tell you for how many years, 10, 15 years we've used virtual assistants. For everything that I do now, in every business that I have virtual assistants. I've got 3 virtual assistants in the Philippines that help run my real estate brokerage. I've got virtual assistants in Pakistan that does a lot of marketing for me. On the investing side, I got virtual assistants in India that does a lot of the digital marketing for me. So we use virtual assistants primarily because they're very talented. They're very talented and they're inexpensive. And so we use them for cold calling so we give them a list and we give them a dialer and they make the dials for us and they make the calls. And we pay, I guess we pay somewhere between, what is the key? About around $6 to $10 an hour for the virtual assistants over the years. Is
That's
that right?
Yeah, about $6 to $10.
Okay.
And they're worth it. They do the work.
Yeah, yeah. Build high quality buyers list. We talked about that. And so that you want to have a quality buyers list. I mean, you're as strong as your cash buyers list. And then, like we just said, we want to reinvest your profits into your business. We like the old adage is it takes money to make money. And so here's also one of the things that I see a lot of investors fail on is investing back into their business. Sometimes they do one deal and they're successful with it and they spend all the money, or they'll do 1 or 2 deals and all the money gets spent. You want to put, I'm going to say 20%, but 10 to 20% of the money that you make back in the business so you can keep going. That's how you scale your business. And the more money you make, the more money you keep investing. And that's how you scale your business. to a six-figure a year business. That's how you do it. And hopefully it doesn't sound, I mean, it's more easier said than done, but you've got to keep investing back, because in terms of the wholesale deals, you want to keep them going. And then you get one wholesale deal and it's just, you're highly energized, you're highly motivated. Let me bring Dana back. Dana, when you wholesaled your first deal, what was that feeling like?
The very first one,
Yes.
yes, that set me off. That was very motivating and uplifting, because I had went months and nothing was happening, and I was attending all your everything, seminars, these call sessions, and nothing was happening. But when that happened, it really motivated me. That set me on fire.
And then I'm gonna tell a little bit of your business. And then you wholesaled a deal and made six figures on one deal. What was that feeling like?
That was phenomenal. And again, it just kept growing. That the momentum kept growing. And of course, that was extremely motivating in itself. So what I did was I took that money and started buying and holding.
Yeah, you did. You did everything the right way, Dana. I'm sure you would disagree, but you did everything the right way. You started. How did you start? What type of marketing did you do?
Driving for dollars. So I would drive for dollars, and then I created a very, I mean, if I look at it now, it's a very unprofessional letter, but it's what I had at the time. And I would drop this letter off at the address. I would go back to the addresses that I collected and then go back and drop these letters off. And that's how I got that first wholesale deal the one I wholesaled to you in Kentland.
So he wholesaled a deal to me in Landover. And then I want to say you did two deals. Didn't you do two deals that were?
No, that was just the first one with you. Yeah, I did several. Yes.
No. You did two that were six figures, didn't you?
Two said yes.
And they were probate deals.
Yes, correct.
So I will say to everybody, like, if Dana can do it, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. There's a lot of people that have come before you, a lot of people that'll come after you. And if we all can do it, you guys can do it too. Let's see, you reinvest in marketing and diversify your exit strategy. So we talked about that. And so I want to make sure that when you find a good deal, you've got a number of different exit strategies. You're going to wholesale that deal. Sometimes you might want to buy and hold. You may want to fix and flip, or you may want to do what's called a novation, where instead of assigning that deal to a cash buyer, you can sell that deal to an end buyer who's going to live in the property. Get the seller to allow you to put it on the MLS, sell it to an end buyer. End buyer is going to pay 100%, 90 to 100% of market value. And that's how you double your profits doing what's called a novation. Novatation. I think I spelled that right. Novation. And so we do novations, and we teach novations also as an alternative to wholesaling to maximize profits. And so sometimes, not all the time, a seller will allow you to put it on the MLS. Sometimes a seller will will want too much money, and the numbers don't perfectly fit into our formula. They're a little too high, but if they allow us to partner with them and put the house on the market on the MLS, we can give them what they want, and we can, at the same time, double our profits. That's innovation. All right, next steps. You want to implement what you've learned today. We've got to implement. I want you guys to implement what you've learned. I don't want this time to be in vain. We've been together about an hour. I want you guys to take the next step. What's the next step? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me now. Unmute yourself. What are the next steps? Somebody tell me.
We're gonna go on.
Marketing,
Oh,
marketing.
take action.
Take
Yeah,
action.
take action.
Patty said take action. Keith said marketing. What else? What else should we do? What else should we do?
Build your
I-
buyers list.
What'd you say?
Build your buyers list, cash buyers list.
Okay, so build your cash buyers list. I like that. I don't like take action. And I don't like marketing.
Start working on your credit.
So credit is good. I would say the next steps would be, so let's just take marketing. What comes underneath marketing?
Oh, driving for dollars.
Driving for dollars. So we should be driving for dollars. I want you guys to either tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday, I want you to drive a neighborhood close to where you live, an older neighborhood, a neighborhood that's 20, 50, 100 years old, and look for the houses that look to be vacant or abandoned and write down 5 addresses. That's part of your next steps. And then we figure out the best way to get their phone numbers. Alex, they don't have tools. We've got some newer people on here. They have no tools whatsoever. They go driving for dollars. They find 5 to 10 houses that look to be vacant or abandoned. They're able to write down the addresses. How are they able to get the homeowner's name and phone number with none of the tools that we talked about?
Without the tools we talked about?
Without Deal Machine, without Deal Machine, without PropStream, they have none of those tools.
Well, Karen just put one in the chat. So shout out to Karen Parrish. She just gave an example. I've been known to use Been Verified as well. Been Verified, BeenVerified.com as well to trace. Additionally, if you have the address, you can put the address in just Google Maryland real property search and go into the SDAT page. And with the address, the county, the address, and the street, you can find the name and then drop that name into cyber background checks, True People Search, as Karen is telling us, or BeenVerified.com if you don't have any of those tools.
Alex, you saying Ben verified? What is that?
B-E-N, Ben is in Bronson. Let me put it in the chat.
All right.
I'm putting it in the chat, Dana.
And
Okay.
I have found it to be very beneficial. Googling that as well, it has worked for me. I found a person today, somebody in Florida, a house I was virtually driving for dollars.
Now once they find, they'll put an address in. They'll go to one of these sites. They'll get the homeowner's name and number. What's the next step?
Then once you get the homeowner's name and number, then you determine what the situation is. If it's distress, and it sounds like Greg is suggesting that it's distress, there are scripts for free that you can use to lead you how to talk to those individuals, or you can reach out to Mr. Bennett and ask for advice, or you can join the Platinum Coaching Program and get the whole list of scripts to use as well to guide you in how to speak to the person, because there's a way you got to do this. I think the world's best wholesaling coach, no offense, Greg, is Keith Bennett. Put some time on Keith. Keith has got a website. You can schedule free time, get the advice.
And then also I do have a toolkit that has all the scripts in it as well. And so then once you do that, then you just pick up the phone. And sometimes the hardest thing to do for investors is just to pick up the phone.
Just like the second what Alex just said too, as well.
What'd you say, Dana?
I would like to second what Alex just stated. Everything that he just said, I totally agree with that.
I think the both of you are picking on me.
You called us. Hold up. You called us.
Hattie loves me. Hattie, do you still love me? I'm still your favorite.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely,
I'm
Greg.
still Hattie's favorite, so I don't care. Um, but then you guys pick up the phone and just call. What's the worst thing that can happen? They hang up on you. They, I was reading something. I have it in my CRM, my VAs actually record what the motivated seller is saying. And it's funny because they're cussing and all that. But then at the end of the conversation, they say, please have Mr. Bennett call. And so I have in my CRM, the whole conversation's documented. And so they want to call. They're on a list for a reason. And the more phone calls you guys make, the more opportunity there is for you guys to get a deal. No reason why you shouldn't be talking to somebody every week and making an offer every single week. No reason why you shouldn't do that. Now, I do also have a 4-day course. I think a lot of you guys have been in my 4-day course. It's free, and I'll give you the link for that in a minute, but it's a free 4-day course. If you're interested in coaching, we've talked a little bit about my coaching program. If you want to schedule a one-on-one for that, I have what I would consider the best coaching program here in the area. We take our coaching students out in the field. It's supposed to be once a month, but seems like every week now. But we're looking for opportunities. We're looking for opportunities to write contracts on and make money. And so, and the bottom line is, for me, it's really my ministry, helping people build wealth through real estate investing. And I enjoy it, but I think I want everyone, especially people of color, to build wealth. And this information is not often afforded to us, or it's just extremely expensive. And so we've made all of our courses, including my wholesale course, BBC Wholesaling, which a number of you guys have my wholesale course. It's $27. Our 4-day course, if you haven't been on that, I know a lot of you guys have, but if you haven't, just go ahead and register now. BBC 4-day starts Monday. It's for an hour. It goes from Monday to Thursday. And I don't hold back. I give you everything that you need. If you want to contact me, here's my email address. If you want to schedule a one-on-one, if you're interested in coaching, just go to my scheduler and schedule a one-on-one with me. And I say myself, but it's also Keith Bennett. It's also my coaching students. We help each other. I mean, we're all one big team. We share resources, and we want to see everybody succeed. And it's not a competition or anything like that. We want you guys to succeed. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Obviously, we want to succeed as well. But that's what this is all about. It's just, God has blessed me to have blessed us to have a certain amount of knowledge as it relates to real estate investing. And we want to share that. So you guys, any questions about anything that we talked about as it relates to wholesaling?
I do have a question, and it's probably more so, I guess, for Alex. When speaking about
Why is Alex he's just go ahead.
You are so
and
jealous.
you too, Greg, of course, you too. But when Alex was speaking about the information that he was able to obtain, and maybe I'm just missing it, I'm tired, I don't know, but what is the importance of knowing what a particular person also owns, and the value, and so on and so on? How do we utilize that information?
Greg, am I allowed to give my humble point of view?
Go ahead.
I mean, Valerie, for me, it's sometimes with these deals. Look, for example, my focus is multifamily properties. And what I find is that to buy an established, good multifamily property, you're talking about a property that is at the top of its equity. So even though I might buy it, right, and make cash flow, the house is not going to be worth much more than what I paid. That's no good for me. I need something that's going to grow in equity over time. So if I'm looking at a price and I see that John Q, I want to give them an offer. I need to know their motivation. I need to know, are they at a pain point or not? Are they really successful or are they struggling a little bit? And that intel on PropWire tells me that. So I can help to craft an offer that's really going to speak to them and help them rather than something they're going to just rebuff. Also, days on the market it's just like days on the market info, right? This is another variation, more information. The longer your property's been on the market, the more you might be suffering or the more agitated you might be. So knowing that will help me come in and say, you know, look, I'm willing to resolve the issue. I can help you. I can offload this property. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take care of your tenants, all those things. But to just walk in blind, you know nothing. You're just talking. So the more intel you get, then the more you can understand the individual and the type of challenge they're in to craft an offer that's going to actually get through.
For sure.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I think also we always, you guys write this down, and this is a good question that she asked. We always ask if they have other properties because we want to see if they're selling this one, we're there for one property. We want to see if they want to sell the other properties.
Great point.
So whatever property we go to, if we're looking it up online, we can research that, or if we're meeting them in person or even on the phone, we want to ask, do you have other properties that you want to sell? Because we do run across a lot of investors that own more than one property. And to Alex's point, they may be distressed on this property, but they also could be distressed on the other properties as well. And they may want to sell, and it's happened to me before, the other properties also.
Hey, Greg, I would like to say something.
Go ahead, Dana.
I would say that I think Valerie has used up all her turns to ask the questions. Wouldn't you agree?
I think I would agree with that, Dana.
She's going to control the discussion. You know, she's going to control the discussion.
I'm
love you,
only
Valerie.
asking what others may not
Yeah.
be
No,
willing
that- no,
to ask.
Valerie,
Keep
that's
on
it for
going,
you.
girl. You go, girl. You keep
We
going.
respect you. We respect you, Valerie. We appreciate you.
Thank you for your questions, Valerie.
All right, anybody else? Corey, do you have any questions?
No question. Just a comment. Like I said, I think this is a phenomenal course. I'm very happy to be in it. I mean, as you know, I've been an agent for 18 years. As I tell everybody on this line, I've spent a lot of money, and I have never received as much information at this price. So, Greg, thank you very much. I'll enroll in everything that you actually have.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, ask Dana.
Can I say one more thing, please?
On mute.
Yes, Valerie, go ahead. Go
Because
ahead. Go ahead.
Corey just said spent money. And every time I'm saying you're not spending money, you are literally investing. You are an investor, yeah, in real estate, but you are investing your money in the knowledge that both Greg and Keith pour out.
That's a good point.
There's nothing they're holding back. There's absolutely nothing they're holding back, and they keep giving and giving. And it's out there for us to take it, use it, make it work, and still come back and be testimonies to it all.
Know, I don't know if I can come up with a multiplier of what I've received according to what I've spent, what I've invested. I can't come up with a multiplier. It's astronomical the amount of money I received off of the information I paid for.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I'm recording this.
Greg, can I interject for a minute? I don't have any comments as my counterparts, Valerie and Dana, but when you mentioned about cold calling, it's your VA, excuse me, that's doing the cold calling. So you're listening to their call. But as an investor, when we start the cold call, You can't take it personally if you get cursed out. I mean, the first time that I got cursed out, I called Keith. I was in tears. It was a short 5-minute conversation. I was offended by him, but I understood why he rushed me off the phone. And it ultimately became an opportunity. So basically is that they're not actually cursing at you, the investor, they're cursing at the situation and why you're calling them. That's it. Thank you.
Those are great points. Those are
Yeah,
great
good
points.
point.
Then,
Yep.
then you just hang the phone up and then you dial the next person. You just keep going. You just keep going. And so that's the biggest thing, you guys. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Your excuse is not that you don't have the resources, that you don't have access to resources, access to people with knowledge. That will never, ever be your excuse. It can never be. We're here. And so it's just about you applying yourself and taking action. And I will tell you that this is not easy because we've got a whole lot of other stuff going on in our lives. And so, but we've got to focus on this also because this can change our lives. And, you know, we've got families, we want to take care of them. This can change our lives. And so we want to truly live up to our fullest potential. And we want to take advantage of all the resources around us because I will tell you that you cannot do this by yourself. You cannot read books and look at YouTube videos and things like that. You've got to be part of a community and get the energy off of each other and network and all that and learn from a community of like-minded people. That's how you grow. That's how you scale your business. That's how you minimize your mistakes. And that's how you get access to opportunities. You know, I'm excited about this deal that I have that I put under contract today. And I'm excited for my coaching students because it gives me the opportunity to allow them, one of them, to purchase this opportunity. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about them. And I look forward to many more opportunities. And so that's what we do. And you need to be a part of this. You really do. You've got to scale. You've got to start making some money. But let's go. Let's get it. Any other questions or comments? I don't want to keep you guys all night. I appreciate you guys spending the time with us tonight. And hopefully this is just the start of many great things for you. If you are interested in our coaching program, get on my schedule. We are going out in the field on Saturday. I've got 8 properties to look at, which means I got to scale it down.
Wow.
Because we go to a restaurant afterwards to really talk about our findings and strategy and what to do with these opportunities. And so we've got Keith, what time did you set that up for? 1 o'clock? Hopefully 1 o'clock.
Yeah, Greg, lunch at 1 o'clock.
Okay, so we'll have some time to get to these properties. And so we want you guys to be a part of it because we're out learning, but for me, I want to be out like writing, making offers, making money, changing our lives. And so that's what this is all about. So if you're interested in my wholesale course, just go to BBC Wholesaling. My 4-day is next week. It's free, bbc4day.com. And if you're interested in our coaching program, just go to GB Schedule and schedule an appointment with me. That's all I've got, you guys. Again, thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this time. Hopefully there's 1 or 2 nuggets that you can take away from this session and it helps you build wealth. So take care, everybody. God bless. And I will talk to you guys soon.